Welcome to another video, and today I'm going to talk about Magnus. Again, this gentleman with the black pieces decided to play something absolutely dumb. I mean, he's known for playing dumb openings and bleeds when he's drunk. He beat some, amateurs. And now in the World Blitz Team Chess Championship, a team event where you gotta, play for your team, not yourself, Magnus plays h5 on first move. So the point is, alright, Magnus is 600 rating points higher than his opponent, but still, he plays it. That guy is actually higher rated than me. Imagine Magnus plays this against me, I would be shocked. I mean, Magnus played some b6 the first move against me, but alright. e5, knight f3, knight c6, d3, Magnus takes the center under his control, bishop g2, bishop h3, and trades the bishops off the board. Magnus is down a whole pawn. c4, knight f6, takes, and actually his opponent played pretty good in this game. Knight c3, bishop b4, bishop d2, bishop c3, and then long castle. Look, Magnus is completely developed. Again, I don't think his opponent would have castle short, because it's kind of dangerous. Rook is coming, knight is coming, then, queen potentially, and it's a complete disaster on h-file. So his opponent plays queen b3, trying to trade queens. And to my surprise, queen b3 is actually a very strong move, because now, actually, black almost have to take it. I mean, they could play something like queen d6, but after queen d6, knight g5, it turns out knight f7 is threatened, and white will simply win the game. So Magnus was actually tracked to trade queens in this position. So takes. He's down a pawn in the endgame. This pawn is under attack. It looks like Magnus might not be able to win this one. Knight g4, king f1, rook h5, king g2, knight f6. This pawn is protected to Magnus's favor. h3, threatening g4 and take on e5. Knight d5 is played, g4 takes, and bishop e5. And at this point, Magnus Carlsen is down 2 pawns against 2250 opponent. But it doesn't help white pieces. Unfortunately, it is Magnus Carlsen, the freaking man, the freaking grandmaster. Rook 8, d4, f6, g5, and now after rook h5, this pawn is gonna fall. And here, g takes f6, knight c4. Now, knight f4 was a better move, but Magnus decided to go for rook e2. And here it turns out like rook g5 is coming, something like rook c2, knight f4. Magnus is starting to drag his opponent into some maiden attacks. And can you imagine that this position is now equal? But in around 4 moves, it will be lost. Magnus Carlsen is a monster. You can't play with him. So, rook a7, rook f5. Rook a7 was actually a terrible move. So, according to computer, king f3 should have been played, attacking the rook, and if rook c2, something like rook a5, pinning the rook, and then let's say rook f5, there is king f4, attacking both pieces, and there is a huge chance that basically white would have saved this game, even though it's kinda, again, here computers show some absolutely crazy lines where white are completely winning. So, but rook a7 was played, and here after rook f5, it turns out that it's very hard to protect this pawn on f2. Rook a8 was played, let's say rook f1 is played, basically protecting this, b5, and then it turns out knight e3, knight f1, rook comes to the action and wins the game. That didn't happen, as here white played rook a8, king d7, and after king g3, rook e f2, rook g8, white actually resigned, because I think they saw b5 and position slowly collapsed, because this happened, knight e3, let's say some random move b4, and there is rook g2, king h4, rook g8 wins the rook. And there are not a lot of lines we can analyze. Let's say knight e3, king h4, trying to basically save from this. There is rook this f4, king g3, knight f1, king g2, rook f2, king g1, knight e3, and black are about to checkmate this king on g1. So again, Magnus played absolutely insanely dumb opening and got away with it. If his opponent was a bit stronger, maybe he have lost, who knows. But what to say about this tournament? His team ended up winning the Blitz section. The Rapid section was won by another team. But what's interesting about this tournament, Magnus Carlsen decided not to play against Hans Niemann twice. He could play him in Rapid. He decided Jan would play against Hans. And in the Blitz section, again, so a long-waited matchup didn't happen. And what interests many chess fans right now, in Speed Chess Championship, the bracket is built that way that if Hans wins his match and Magnus wins his match, they're gonna be paired against each other. So let's see what happens. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.